Yes, what's happening, people? And welcome back to GavGoesIn. So we carry on, obviously, our series on Next Gen 50, which, as you guys know, is the next generation, and it's the 50 best young players in world football. So yesterday we done Ryan Cherky, and thoroughly enjoyed doing that one because, as I said, Ryan Cherky for me is one of the best up and coming players in Europe, and as I said before, I fully expect him to be a future Ballon d'Or contender, competing with the likes of Lamine Yamal. So we're going to move on anyway. So we're going to keep it close, obviously mentioning Lamine Yamal. We're going to keep it close to Barcelona. And we're going to discuss a defender for me that I think is definitely going to be one of the main defenders for Spain in the future, and definitely for Barcelona. And that is 18-year-old and Barcelona defender Pau Cubarsi. I'm a massive fan of Pau Cubarsi. I think Cubarsi, for me, I think he can definitely be amongst the best defenders in the world. I think the fact that he's only 18, he made his debut for Barca, I believe, at 16. And again, you can already see now, he's one of their main defenders. I think Ronald Arroyo, when he's fit, obviously he's their vice captain as well. When he's fit, for me, he's their best defender. And I think Pau Cubarsi, for me, should be partnering him. And I think, as I said, Pau Cubarsi is the future. He's the future centre-back for me for Spain and for Barcelona. What I like about Cubarsi is that he mixes his composure on the ball, with a bit of aggression. I think on the ball he's so composed for someone of that age, but he has got that a bit of aggression when he needs to as well. And the recovery pace is decent as well. I think the more he plays, I think the better you're gonna see him more come into his own. And I think at a young age of 18 as a centre back, is no mean feat really. But I think definitely this guy's going right to the very top. I think just like Lamine Yamal, obviously made his debut at 16. I think, year older than what Yamal did at 15. But definitely you've got him, Yamal, definitely coming through the youth, and these guys are going to be cornerstones of that Barcelona team, and obviously of Spain as well. But I think in terms of Cubarsi, as I said, he reminds me a bit of Gerard Piqué in a sense. I know obviously Piqué come through La Masia as well, and then went to Manchester United and then back to Barcelona. But he reminds me of Gerard Piqué in the sense that, the composure on the ball, very good technically as well. His reading of the game, is of a high level. And as I said, the fact that he's in the Spain squad and is more a first teamer for Barcelona, he can only go up and up and up, really. And as I said, he possesses, for me, everything needed to become, the top defender in Europe for me. I think he's had, 74 appearances for Barcelona, and I think he's had, 6 caps for Spain. So, again, still relatively inexperienced, but you wouldn't think it, the way he plays, very mature as well. And as I said, I think he's definitely someone that you can see is going to be one of the best defenders in the world, And I'm looking forward to watching more of Cubarsi, as I said. And I think the partnership that he's going to have with Spain, which you would think would be with Dean Howson moving forwards, I think you're going to have 2 defenders there, one at Real Madrid, one at Barcelona. And I think you're looking at 2 players that can recreate the Sergio Ramos and Gerard Piqué of what Spain had as a centre-back pairing, And I think both players for me will definitely be, cornerstones of the Spain team for sure. And they're going to build a very good platform in the future for Spain to go on, and dominate European and world football once more, because the talent they've got coming through, with Yamal already in there, and those 2, Howson and Pau Cubarsi, yeah, they're gonna be special, But yeah, guys, let me know what you think. Pau Cubarsi, Barcelona and Spain centre back. Let me know if you think Cubarsi is going to be one of the best defenders in world football, or do you think that he still has a lot of room for improvement? I think, as we know, he does. But I think personally, you know, from what I've seen so far, and let's not forget, he still is relatively inexperienced in comparison to his age. But he's gonna be one of the best defenders in Europe if he carries on the way he's going, definitely. But yeah, guys, let me know what you think. Smash the like button, sub to the channel, and I'll catch you guys in a bit. Take it easy.